Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Old Big Ears podcast. I'm Dimitri, and I'm here with my co-host Stefano. Yeah, this is a special episode. It's been many months in the making. It's a very special episode. It's our first in-person podcast. If you didn't notice, we're finally together in real life. Distance separated us apart, but our passion for the podcast has now brought us together over the winter break just to discuss our everything we've achieved so far and just what we're looking forward to, and we're going to talk about some personal things as well. We're just super hyped to have the chance to do this, and you guys definitely want to stick along for this one as we have some special topics in store for this episode 12 of the Old Big Years pod. So yeah, we're just going to get into some simple icebreakers.
Yes, because we want to do like introductions for both of us as it is in-person podcast. So this will be like a podcast. Hopefully, people will go to learn more about us. So we'll start off with like how we got into soccer and all that, and there's a couple questions here that will guide us through this introduction here.
I'll just go into how I got into the beautiful game first. So yeah, what got me into soccer was kind of interesting. When I was a kid, I didn't really have any interest in it at all until when I was around 11. That was the time when the World Cup in Brazil was coming up, and I remember everyone at my school was just talking about it, and they got really excited for it. And I was just like, what is this buzz all about? I got to check it out because I always hear people talking about soccer, but I never really had an interest in it. And I just thought like, what a perfect time to get into it because it's the World Cup and it's in Brazil, which is like the number one footballing nation in the world. Everyone's super passionate about it. It's such a strong football culture. So what a good opportunity to get into just watching the game.
Was there anyone like in particular, like anyone in your relatives that got you into football initially, or anything like that actually like drew you into a particular way?
No, actually not.
So it's just direct from seeing everybody else.
Just directly seeing all my classmates getting into it because no one in my family is really like serious about watching soccer. So yeah, it was just my friends at school were talking about it, and I just kind of wanted to know what they were talking about. I remember they kept on talking about like some of the players I had no idea. They kept on like they were saying, oh, it's a bummer that, for example, Marco Reus is injured. And I was like, what's going on? Who's Marco Reus? And I'm like, oh, he's a German. I didn't know anything about him back then, but now of course I know a lot. And yeah, so that's kind of what got me into watching the World Cup. And I just thought it would be like a temporary passion, kind of like how a lot of people just watch the World Cup because it's the biggest, like, most watched sporting event in the world in terms of viewership. But after that, my passion, I love the World Cup so much. I was like, I got to start watching some, like, football, soccer year round. And I didn't look any further than the English Premier League. Because that was the most popular league at the time at my elementary school. And
what are some of the players? That's a big one. What are some of the players that led you to love watching and playing, of course, football as well?
Well, during the World Cup in 2014, watching Germany, the eventual winners, was really fun. They, for example, Neuer was it's a great goalkeeper, that World Cup. Deserving Golden Glove winner.
That's right.
Very commanding. He was an absolute rock. Also, Thomas Müller as well, a very good team player. That was inspirational to watch as well. Yeah, Germany was just great to watch because they didn't have a star player. That's the German philosophy. They never have a star player. They play really good as a team unit, and that's why I think they do extremely well. There's no egos and anything like that they have to deal with. It's a very good, solid team effort that they always put in international competitions.
Do you have a favorite moment though, like in soccer history, like that actually was? You say like World Cup, yeah. Is there like a particular World Cup in mind?
I would say 2014, watching that first World Cup final. Yeah, that was a really entertaining.
Well,
Mario Götze's goal. That was crazy. When he came on. Hansi Flick, by the way, he's the one who orchestrated that. And brought Götze on, and then just for Götze to have the composure coming on as a sub to score in like the dying or like the later minutes of the extra time instead of dragging the game to penalties. I thought that was just really.
Like the tactic of it.
Yeah, the tactic, great tactic from Hansi Flick's. Yeah. And that was actually Hansi Flick's tactic, even though he was this assistant manager at the time, and he was the one who wanted to bring him on. So even like memes on Instagram all about it, like pictures of Hansi Flick with Guts on the sidelines, just telling him like what to do and all that with the whiteboard. So that's really cool. Also another team I loved to watch during the 2014 World Cup was none other than the host themselves, Brazil. That time we had Neymar, young Neymar, like 21, 22 years old. He was just bursting onto the scene with Barcelona after playing insane with Santos, and then he's now playing for Barcelona at a year, doing really great with Messi, and then now he's coming back to Brazil. It's kind of like a homecoming, so that was really cool to watch Neymar. He kind of lit up the world stage. Then also we had Oscar. I'll get into that later. Oscar was a good segue for me to get into watching club football. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Oscar was a great playmaker alongside Neymar at the 2014 World Cup. Streets will never forget. Also David Luiz, excellent free kick taker. That free kick against Colombia, like I think you remember that. That rocket. That was an absolute rocket.
That probably like cemented him as a legend. Yeah, exactly. So you talk about like Oscar and all that, and like, so was Oscar the direct link into your favorite club, your favorite club being Chelsea?
Yeah, so after the World Cup, I was like, I want to continue watching football. And in club football, I was like, this happens all the time. I would love to watch football every week in, week out. And then, Oscar honestly was one of the segues that got me into supporting Chelsea, because also at that time I was hearing everyone in my school was talking about, like during the domestic league, they were talking about Hazard and all that. And then I remember seeing clips of Hazard, and I didn't watch him like seriously, but I saw clips and I was like, this player's unreal. And then I saw Oscar at the World Cup and I'm like, this player is unreal, such a good playmaker. And then I realized, they actually play with each other. Their chemistry must be insane. And then I look at clips of them and I'm like, wow, this is the team.
Exactly what you expected to be.
This is the team I want to back. So I started supporting Chelsea, and it paid off, because I mean, first year supporting Chelsea, they won the Premier League. So that was really wonderful. So and that's kind of how I got to Chelsea. So after that World Cup, I was like, I love Oscar, I love Hazard. They play on Chelsea together. Chelsea have all these other good players as well. Like they had some new players at the time, like Fabregas. I was like, he's a good playmaker as well from Spain. He's got the tiki-taka at him.
So it was like that, because some people will say like, it's the actual city that gets me into loving the club, regardless. So for you as a players. Yeah.
I mean, London's a cool city, but it was mostly, I know some people they want to support
where they're
from, they like the character of the city kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
For me it was mostly the players. So that was kind of what got me into it. But and that's since then, the rest of history. Been a Chelsea fan now for 10 years. I love the ride. There's been a lot of amazing highs, but a lot of lows, and that's what I think being a football fan is all about. It's really fun. Great club to support. I've made like a lot of friends who are Chelsea fans, so it's helped me make a lot of lasting friendships. So pretty much in terms of favorite moments, I've kind of just summed it up there, and that's kind of how it led to me supporting Chelsea.
How do you order? This is a big one. So this is more about like how we see the best competitions in soccer. Like how do we actually review, I guess you could say, the best players, and like how, what determines them to be the best players, and where do we order the competition? So basically the question is, where do you want to order? What order would you put the competition in soccer? Where do you order the highest level competition? Where do you order like potentially the lowest, if you want that?
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna just give a quick power ranking of all, and personally the competition.
Like a top 5.
I'll just do a quick power ranking, honestly. So in terms of like World Cup versus Champions League, I do think the World Cup is, in soccer overall, it is the biggest, most important tournament in football. Simply just because there's so much history behind it. It's like the World Cup has won the world over. Like there's so many people who don't watch soccer on a regular basis, but when the World Cup every 4 years, everyone's a soccer fan. Champions League, it's got more of a niche appeal. But to be fair, I do like that niche appeal as well, because it's really like the people who support Champions League, they're kind of like, there's like a really big like kind of festive culture about it as well. World Cup's just kind of like a massive like fan base, whereas Champions League is more niche, as I mentioned before. And I like to think of the Champions League is almost like the Super Bowl of soccer. So if you're thinking, if you're like, if you're watching American football, if you're thinking what is like the most similar competition in soccer to the Super Bowl, I would say it's actually the Champions League.
Also, like viewers wise too, right? Like wise, they were World Cup is considerably more than the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. Like so, Champions League is just under, but Champions League in terms of the format is like the Super Bowl.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like best in Europe rather than best just in the US. But yeah, I think honestly, World Cup just goes above Champions League for me.
So
Then,
World Cup number one.
World Cup number one, Champions League number two. Then third would be the domestic leagues.
Would you say Premier League is first? Like, would you say Premier League is that?
Yeah, we will get into that.
Would you say that's number 3 for you? And then, because I'll give my rankings later, but I think most people will say like Champions League or like Premier League first, and then Champions League. You know what I mean? So, where do you rank Premier? Like, because it is its own.
Third.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I would say like the fourth is like
And
all
the fourth, and then fourth would be all other competitions.
leagues,
Fourth
right.
would be all other competitions.
Yeah.
No, actually, fourth below that would be like the
Europa League?
European Championship, like for like Euros.
Euro.
Copa America.
Oh, that's right. You have to. Did you include? Yeah, I don't think you include
No. So yeah, first for me would be World Cup. Second
Yeah.
would be Champions League. Third would be Premier League or just domestic league.
Oh,
depending on what
dang.
league you support.
Okay.
Then fourth would be basically European Championships, Copa America.
Copa America, Euro.
Yeah. Or AFC, Asian Cup, whatever, depending on what team you support. Like if you, for example, if you support the Japan national team, you're obviously gonna support AFC. And then fifth would be just like all the like domestic cups in your league that you support. For example, like since I support Chelsea, that would be like the Carabao Cup.
Carabao.
FA Cup. Well, I'd say FA Cup's slightly more important than Carabao, but I'd still like group them in that category. So that's kind of how.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's like a pretty good rank. I do disagree with what I'll say it after. I want to say it after.
No, we're gonna get into Stefano's introduction though. How did you get into soccer?
Yeah.
I mainly got into soccer via my dad. My father played soccer all of his life, and with every boy that he had, we all played soccer. Like all levels, we played soccer. The most I went was like silver, I think, or something like that. But the point is that we started from young. So I just remember starting at like 5 years old. Like 5 years old, man. Yeah, 5 years old, 4 years old, whatever. The earliest possible chance I could have played in a team for soccer, my dad would put me in it.
Yeah.
And same for my other brothers. And that's kind of like the beginning of it. Now, the thing, I don't know if I would classify it as me. That's like the first moment I started loving soccer. That's the first moment I had like interactions with soccer and started like, okay, I like doing this, right? I like doing this, but I didn't love it yet, I would say.
Yeah.
And then I would say I got to high school. So when I was in probably grade 11, grade 12, maybe in grade 10, that's when I started watching football. And that's when I would say like I started actually.
Yeah.
I just remember like watching definitely like World Cups. Growing up, always watched those Euros as well. One big competition I do remember vividly watching was actually the 2016 Euros when Ronaldo did win it. Spoiler alert, I wouldn't say very big, but I'm a big Ronaldo fan. So when that did happen, when he did win the Euros, I was like ultra hype. I was like, this is the guy I'm supporting. Like this is it. And then I would say like I watch a little bit of league. I watch a little bit of like the different leagues and stuff like that. It was mainly though, I would say, the same kind of route that you got into loving soccer is the same way I had it. It's like those competitions, Euros, World Cup, like just seeing the highest level of football, and that's where I started to love it. So I'd probably say I started loving and watching football like avidly and probably 2016. Yeah, probably after that Euros. I would say that was the big one.
2 years after I started getting into.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like that's where I started like actually watching and all that, and really falling in love because I liked it before, but it wasn't like a love for me. But yeah, I'd say again, like I said, what initially drew me to love it was watching football. Playing it, you kind of have this bubble. You have your own bubble of perception for football, right? But then you watch it, and it's like, oh dang, there's so much. There's so many different lenses, players. Yeah, exactly. Like for example, I never even knew how like Brazilian players played versus other. No, like let's be honest, like how Brazilian samba. Like I didn't even know those play styles. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen those play styles before. And then when I kept investigating 2016, 2017, kept going with it. I was like, dang, there's a whole new level to soccer that I've never even I've never seen before. And then I would say And so, okay, I have to backtrack a little bit with my team. Or should I say my favorite moment first?
Yeah.
Or so some of my some of my favorite players. Okay, no, this is perfect actually. Yeah, Ronaldo. Like I said, some of my favorite players would be Ronaldo. 2016, I would say that's when it picked up for me. That's it. I'm Ronaldo. Won the Euros. I was like,
He won the Champions League as well.
That's right.
Champions League. That was a Ballon d'Or season. Yeah, that's when I started watching him. Before my perception of Ronaldo was like this guy is this guy is like a what do you call it, like an arrogant guy that's just wants to win everything, and right, and so like the typical stuff like Ronaldo and all that. I swear, like that's my initial. I was like, and I did, and then until I started watching, I was like, okay, this is Ronaldo. Like this is actually the level. Big two players I would say that really started my love for football watching wise would be Pirlo, 100% Pirlo. Pirlo's my favorite player ever. Like it's kind of a weird one, but it is like for me Pirlo.
That's good.
Yeah, Pirlo is my favorite player I've ever watched. It's just the way he moved on the pitch and the passes were ridiculous.
Flying playmaker.
The passes were ridiculous. Like, and I don't know. I fell in love with like that style of play, or at least just that like calmness, while playing soccer. I've never seen that before in soccer players. You see a lot of like frantic running, but you don't see like that calmness that Pirlo had. And then another big one was Buffon. Mainly it started 2000. I would say, well, obviously I was like 3 when the 2006 World Cup happened, but I remember rewatching or just watching 2006 World Cup, and just like the levels of Buffon in that game was ridiculous. And then I was like, okay, these are some players that I love. Same kind of thing. Where do they play? And it's Juve. So I actually always had like Juventus as my club. I just didn't watch football to merit, to merit saying I am a Juventus fan. You know what I mean? So I always loved Pirlo, always loved Buffon. And then I would say, yeah, again, 2016 thing happened, the Euros. That's where I started watching Juventus even more and being a bigger fan of them than was before. And my favorite moment of soccer history. See, this is hard. Like ever watching. See, this is for me. I want to say, okay, I'm going to save this because I have a Champions League moment that I want to bring up, but I want to save it for future questions. But I would say like my favorite moment that made me love soccer, I would say probably, honestly, like I would say like Juve Champions League finals that they did go to. Like I can't name a particular Champions League final because I thought like I could say the Barcelona one was really good. I like that one a lot. When we did, I think it was actually I don't know if we did make the Champions League final. I think it was actually it was the year basically we beat Barcelona. If you remember that. That I remember, and then Prime Dybala.
You went to the Champions League finals.
Barcelona.
Yeah, en route, exactly. Yeah, it was en route. We beat Barcelona. That was like probably my favorite moment because that's where I saw like, okay, I Barcelona, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. I know these guys. In my opinion, the best trio of all time. I would definitely say that. And you better see it. It's like you have Dybala, like the level of how he plays. So that would probably be my favorite Juventus any soccer moment. Just seeing that a player in Dybala being able to do that against the massive team of Barcelona back then. That's probably what it would be, honestly.
Let me just remind me. So yeah, back to favorite soccer moment. So I did mention. No. He just planted to see it. He reminded me because I did mention the Germany Argentina World Cup. Yes, that was because that was my first like big final I ever watched live. So that will always be etched in my memory. That was a big one. Also, 2022 World Cup final, that was big. But for me, my favorite memory was Chelsea winning the Champions League in 2021. 2012, but I wasn't a Chelsea fan back then. I didn't watch it.
Like a rewatch, like watching these, yeah. It's when you become the fan and you rewatch it, it's like, okay, this is the level of my team. This is where it is.
Rewatching the 2012 final was also really good memory as well. Like watching the 2021 final live, which that's big. That's big. I remember we had clips. Yeah, the clips. If anyone wants to act those, and I remember winning that final against all odds against the Man City team that was their favorite. Like they were heavily favored to win.
Yeah.
But Chelsea, Thomas Tuchel with his really good defensive tactics after Kai Havertz scored a goal. He just put a really good defensive block, and N'Golo Kante had the absolute game of his life.
Yeah.
Prime Kante.
No.
Absolutely, like, cemented himself as a Chelsea legend in that game. If he
100%.
wasn't already, like, but that game was, like, ultimate. Like, that was just, like, there's no arguing that he's not. So, yeah, that Chelsea Man City Champions League final will also be, like, one of my favorite games. But, yeah, just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah,
I didn't want to leave that out. But, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, the rewatches are important. Like when you a more avid watcher of football, I find most people like rewatch the games, see what they've been missing out. You know what I mean? Like see what they missed out. That was live. No. 2021 is watched live. But yeah, for you was the one big one we watched was the final, and then for me, I would say it was the Juventus finals that we did get to. I don't think it was a Champions League, or I don't think I was a Juventus fan at that time, or I was. Like I wasn't like watching them like game after game, watching them. You know what I mean? At that time when they would get to the finals, not back 3 years, twice in 3 years. But I just remember rewatching it, and so that was a very clear showcase to me that this team of Juventus is still a high-level team, and I'm supporting the right team.
Yeah. Oh, no, but speaking of rewatching finals, yeah, when I rewatched that 2012 final, because I did rewatch that one.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned I didn't see that one live. Just rewatching that and seeing the highlights was just very inspirational. Like the fact that Chelsea were underdogs, they were missing John Terry, their captain, because he got suspended in the semifinals before. They were playing in Bayern Munich's home stadium.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They go down in the 82nd minute to a Muller header, like. It would be very crushing, but somehow Drogba manages to find a header. Header.
Yeah.
It cements him as a legend. And then Chelsea go on to win it in penalties with Drogba getting the final spot kick, which was just very touching and just like a big moment because that was like the holy grail for Drogba, the Champions League. He tried like for 10 years super hard to get it.
Yeah.
Pep always says 7 years of fighting for him and De Bruyne, but the real 10 years of fighting was Drogba in the Champions League. That's all I'm saying. That's the real 10 years of fighting. 10 years of fighting. That's the real 10 years of fighting.
Well, what about Juve though? What about Juve? We've been fighting for like 20 years.
You're fighting for 20 years. Yeah. 20 years counting. Yeah. You're still fighting. But yeah. Oh yeah. And then just anyhow, what? Yeah. You're ranking the club.
Cup comments. So for me, how I rank them. Definitely World Cup first. There's no question about it. Viewership, the amount of people that actually get drawn into football in the first place via, a competition, it's going to be World Cup that they get drawn into it. So that's definitely there as the first. Exactly every 4 years. Exactly. See, this is where I differ here. I actually put Euros second. And maybe you could argue Copa America. Maybe Copa America, like in the same
bracket. They theoretically are because they're like they are like
but like Euros, Copa America, second, because like I'm thinking about like what if you look at a player's history or look at a player's greatness, what cup do you want them to win to showcase that they are great? Like for example,
Champions League would be one of them.
Champions League 100% would be one of them, but I was obviously number one is going to be World Cup. For example, for Messi, that's the missing piece. That was the missing piece for Messi and cemented him as the GOAT. That is how important the European competitions are. Like, you know what I mean? The World Cup and the Euros and the Copa America, those international competitions. That's what I meant to say. But yeah, I would definitely rate Euros, Copa America.
Champions League though? That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I think
people can be like, okay, do they have an international trophy? Is it and if yes, is it Euros? Is it Copa America? Like that's it. Or is it World Cup? Like that's what they'll ask.
I feel like no big player feels complete until they lift the Champions League. If you think about it, and the thing of the difference of the Champions League is it's more meritocratic if you think about it. Because
what about Buffon?
Oh, that's right. Come on, that's what I mean. But he won a World Cup though.
Yeah, he won a World Cup.
So what if he just like won a Euro and then like everyone's like he didn't win a World Cup, he didn't win Champions League, and then he always won a Euro, so he's the GOAT.
That's true. It's true.
Buffon, he won the World Cup, so he can still like because World Cup is
goalkeeper. Yeah, for that reason.
I don't know if he hadn't won the World Cup, it would have probably been a very different story, especially if he won Champions League. If he had won a Champions League and not won a World Cup, he could still be in the goalkeeper conversation.
That's probably true. Yeah.
But the thing though, with Champions League is like it's the one trophy that all players, if this one trophy they can win, it's the Champions League, because the difference is the World Cup. It's of course the big competition, but World Cup there's many factors that come into you winning it other than skill. For example,
Yeah.
you got
You
like,
get lucky on the draws. And stuff.
no, but also the country you represent, right? Like even if
That's
you're
right.
like Holland, like even if he is like, of course Holland now he's not in the best form, but even if Holland was in the most
But
consistent,
he wants to win Euros. He
he
thinks
could,
win
he
the
could,
Euros.
but like World Cup, I
That's
don't
the
think
thing.
so.
Like,
Yeah. So
like
World Cup, it's like I don't know. There's factors, whereas like Champions League, it's purely meritocratic. If
Yeah.
you think about it, so that's why I think
merit based.
Yeah.
No, though, because people, if they have questions about international, like if people say, okay, what did you do for international? And then you're going to answer, I never won a Euros, never won a World Cup.
If you play for like
maybe
Marino, right?
But no San Marino again.
No, but they could be, and they play in an Italian club, and they like win the Champions League. It's totally
Even like a Nations League, I don't even know if people consider Nations League.
we're not.
But even as an international like people might not even consider that. My point is that most people have questions. Like if you're going through that rigorous process of being considered the greatest of all time or one of the greatest of all time, they're always going to ask about the international trophies. And I find Euros and
Ronaldo, you're like you want the Euros?
No.
generally speaking, like because people have take a look at for Messi, for example, before he won the World Cup. Before he won the World Cup, because and Copa America before that too. What was the biggest thing with him? Where's the international trophy? The only one he can win is the Copa America and the World Cup, right? And I don't even think the Nations League, it's only European teams, right? So that's the question. Like, imagine Messi never won a Copa America World Cup. Are we going to be saying, and Ronaldo stays as he has the Euros over Messi, right? Maybe Ronaldo's like takes that spot over Messi. You understand what I'm trying to say?
How many Euros?
No, equivalent.
Copa America.
I'm saying if he has, okay, so if Messi did not win a World Cup or Copa America, and the careers end as Ronaldo winning the Euros, Messi doesn't win any international trophies. The biggest question everybody will have, what if, whatever you want to call it, is what if Messi won an international trophy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I would put big international trophies, secondary ones, Euros, Copa America, as my second. I would have to say that makes sense to me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's arguable, yeah.
What's third?
Third, I would definitely say, you got to say Champions League for sure. That's going to be third. And then fourth, I would say Prem.
Domestic leagues. Yeah.
Prem though.
No, but we'll get into
You know what I mean?
the leagues, but
No. Like
Prem, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I find, okay, so if a player wins Serie A, for example, win Scudetto, right? They're going to say, and let's say if they have an option to switch that Scudetto for Premier League, they take the Premier League all day. Like, they know that. So, Premier League for me is like, that's probably the fourth position right there.
Yeah, and the fifth would be cup competitions.
I would say, other cup competitions, Serie A, Bundesliga, all that, right? Because Premier League is that highest level cup that you want when it comes to for your club, other than Champions League in and of itself. Right?
Yeah, because we're actually the perfect segue to our next discussion. Now we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna give our opinions about competitions around the world, so like league competitions. So if I give my top 5 ranking, personally for me, Premier League first. Second, I would give Serie A. Serie A is definitely a very competitive league. Like, there's always different winners. Like, for a while in the Premier League, unfortunately, it's been Man City. I think it's over. Man City's over after losing to Aston Villa. It's like cemented. They're not winning the Premier League.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a different. Liverpool, probably, hopefully Chelsea. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe Arsenal, but I don't think so. But so Premier League, it's still. Like, Serie A is still, Premier League first just because of the quality. Even if Man City's always winning every year, Premier League is the best quality. Then Serie A second just because of how different the winners are every year. That keeps it competitive.
Yeah.
Third, I'll give it to the Bundesliga. Well, I mean, it's recently you just got the amazing season from Bayer Leverkusen, breaking records. So that's also...
It just shows competitiveness.
Yeah, exactly. Then fourth, I'll have to go with La Liga. La Liga's kind of died. La Liga used to be like second to Premier League, like 10 years ago.
Maybe first, even. Messi.
No, I would think Premier League is still.
Maybe
Premier League's been first for the most of.
What games were watched more? Back then, was it El Clasico or was it going to be Manchester Derby?
El Clasico, but only by a narrow margin. And then Premier League, both more. No. Of course, El Clasico. But the thing is, El Clasico is just one game in like a 30-something game season. Whereas in Premier League, Manchester Derby isn't as big, but still very big. And the thing of Premier League is there's more big games that are spread out across the 30-something game season.
That's right. I agree with.
But like, I don't know. I find most people say La Liga at that time, which was short. It wasn't that long, about 5 years, whatever. Was probably number one, just based off of viewership.
But anyhow, La Liga now is probably fourth. It's definitely difficult.
I would say it's definitely.
And then
Two teams, maybe even just one, honestly, Real Madrid. Now Barcelona's picking up a little bit more. You get the point.
There's the meme of like, it's just Real Madrid and Barcelona are just fighting, and then Atletico's now. Atletico's actually now. That'll be interesting if they. Well, Atletico does sometimes get. They've won the league twice in the past decade, so they they get a share of the spoils as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then fifth we got the McDonald's league.
Yeah. MLS is Burger.
I mean,
but this
Liga,
it's like Big Mac.
Liga, I mean, Liga, to be fair, they in the past decade they have kind of gone more viewership because they've attracted the stars like Zlatan, Neymar, and Mbappe.
Yeah.
But still, the teams themselves are just.
Oh, it's one-sided. There's no question.
Very one-sided. Yeah.
When Liga is good, it's basically when PSG is on a decline and it actually becomes competitive.
Monaco and then Lille have. Well, to be fair, they've in the past decade, Monaco and Lille, they're the only teams that have beaten PSG to it. But other than that, it's been PSG.
Well, Marseille at a certain, not in recent times, of course, but in their history, they were.
Let's not forget, Marseille is the only French team to have ever won a Champions League in 1993.
Yeah.
So, you can't forget about Marseille. But yeah, and then just beyond the top five, I mean, to be fair, MLS, Burger League, they're now ninth best league in the world. No, fourth all time. I've brought it up before. I've brought it up in previous episodes, but I think because of the Messi viewership and just there's a bunch of other top players like Marco Reus now at LA Galaxy.
It is competitive league. There's no MLS.
Oh no, it is. Yeah,
it keeps switching.
And also the playoff format can be quite entertaining as well.
Yeah.
And just the goals. I don't know if you've seen the meme, but like average MLS goals are like insane.
Yeah.
Just because the French so bad, but they are like average MLS bangers are like Premier League Puskas.
Yeah, Puskas level.
It's crazy. If you want to watch a league with just insane eye candy goals for every single game.
Yeah.
Looking up for than MLS. Because unfortunately Premier League and like a lot of the other top European leagues, in this day and age they've become extremely tactical. So a lot of goal of the month. There's not too many like insane like goal of the month-esque goals anymore.
That's right. Yeah.
But yeah, if you want really insane goals, look no further than MLS.
Well, for us, we obviously Whitecaps, but
they're not. They're like
they're not bad. Yeah, it's definitely like not a bad league. Yeah, again, if you want those screamers, if you want those crazy goals, high scoring games too. Like MLS is definitely a league to look at for sure. For me, Premier League goes one probably. Premier League goes one for me. Yeah, like Premier League is just too. Even the players. The thing is, for me, the biggest thing is that the players say it themselves. Like when they are at a different league, they get asked what is the best league. They'll say Premier League. They'll say Premier League even if they're at a different league. So definitely Premier League is the most sought after viewership wise, like just pure viewership. Players wise, manager like it is the place to be. It is the league to really showcase your talents in. There's no question about it. If you are the greatest of all time, you perform in there, like in that league, like you have to, or at least you have to have some stint in the Premier League for the most part. Messi's a different story, but you get the points. Like if you want to be considered one of the best of all time, you got to have that Premier League stint. That's kind of how at least players how they see it. They have to have that Premier League stint. And then I would definitely say Serie A. Serie A is second for me. I think probably the most competitive league right now. Like just based off of pure competitiveness, I think Premier League. I mean, well, now we're having the Premier League being shaken up now that Man City is finally toppled over.
It's official. After the Aston Villa game, it's official.
Yeah, they've toppled over here.
But for Serie A, like just pure competitiveness, I do believe that they're probably the most competitive. Like I mean, again, we talked about on previous podcast episodes that like the difference is like 1 or 2 points. It's like 1 or 2 points from the top, first place to second or whatever, right? Third, I would probably say this might be crazy. I'm gonna say Bundesliga. Yeah, Did you say? Oh, okay. I thought you said like fourth. Okay, La Liga. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a pretty similar list here. Yeah, I would definitely give Bundesliga third. Competitiveness wise, it used to be a 2-sided league. I would say or 1-sided. You could say for sure 1-sided, right? Bayern, right? But I would say generally speaking, like now it's 4-sided, 5-sided, maybe maybe even five-sided, right? Especially because Leverkusen just are super consistent and they're been a threat now in the recent times. Fourth, definitely La Liga. For me, it's one-sided. I think most people would say like it's two-sided. I think it's actually one-sided. I think Real Madrid is just that dominant right now, and it will not stop until Ancelotti leaves or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to stop. Like, yeah, Barcelona, they can try their best, I think, but Real Madrid just are they're way too well set up. Like, they're just set up perfectly, and Ancelotti is just the perfect manager for that club, and he's doing wonders there. And then fifth, I would probably say, am I even going to say League One? Like, I don't even know if I can say League.
Why was you there with it? Where were you ahead of that, like Saudi League?
No. Saudi League.
Like, Ronaldo.
Dang. I don't know if I would put it.
Portuguese League? No. I would honestly give it. How would you not give? I mean, Dutch League.
Give it.
No, I would give it to the French League, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but who's watching it? Who's watching?
Well, there was a lot when Mbappe was playing in Zlatan, and
yeah.
And so now
we're talking about
more competitive.
We're talking about
look at Leo, like if Jonathan David, look at AS Monaco, like they're.
I think for now I would say Liga fifth right now, but I think it's shifting. It's shifting. Like, I think it's shifting, and then that, like, potentially like the Portuguese Liga. We just talked about. We talked avidly about previous episodes, Sporting, for example, or even Benfica as well, right? So I'm sure that's going to be also a very competitive league. Maybe even, what do you call it, the Turkish league? Yeah, is it Turkish? Galatasaray. Yeah. That's getting competitive. Yeah, Fenerbahce, like 100 points. Did you see that? Last year it was like 100 points. Both teams or something like that. Like, so it was like, no. It was Fenerbahce 99 points, I think, or something like that. And then the Galatasaray was like 101, something like that. Yeah. But like, how do you even get that like number of points if you're not a really good side? So yeah, but definitely, I'll probably say Liga for now. But I think it's definitely dipping year after year, and I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if that Turkish league, the Turkish Super League, will take it over. Honestly, like it is a competitive league, especially because Mourinho is there.
Mourinho goes wherever Mourinho goes. Yeah,
players follow.
Yeah,
like that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. We're gonna now talk about Ballon d'Or contenders. So who do you think?
It's mainly talk about this
next ceremony, and like who do you think the future winners are gonna be, like the prominent figures? So for me, next year's contenders, personally, okay, I don't want to get too personal soon, but first I'm gonna go. I'll put Rafinha in there, to be honest, but I don't know how his form is now, but he started off the season really well. Maybe he's having a bit of a dip now, but I'm sure he'll get back to things soon. Rafinha has a chance, just his displays in certain big games.
Especially in Champions League right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Lamine Yamal, probably, for next year. Even next year, I think he could be on the short
list, yeah.
Who else?
Lewandowski. What about him?
No, he's very recently he's kind of dead. Even if he was the form that he was at the start of the season, I don't know if it's necessarily Ballon d'Or.
I think those, for me, like those three.
You think all the three Barca front three could be Ballon d'Or contenders
if they win the Champions League? But it's so hard. If they win the Champions League, I think those three are contenders for sure.
You have to consider. Any other contenders? Oh, Gyökeres. I could feel like Gyökeres
for sure. Cole Palmer. If they win the Prem, but if they win the Prem, no. If they win the Prem, come on. Like, and he's top goal scorer, El Chippy, why not? Like, he wins the Prem. You have the performances that he did have carrying Chelsea already. Yeah, his stats are ridiculous. Yeah, he doesn't get the Champions League, but it depends who wins the Champions League. I always say that. Like, I say for the most part, it's Ballon d'Or is based off of, like, unless there's international competition. But it's only, if there is that international competition, which I don't think there is there's not going to be this one for this season. So it's purely off of club and whoever wins the Champions League, right? But then it depends who wins it. Like, what team, if Inter
Milan win it. Like, I don't know, because they're such a collective team. I don't know if any of them, but I don't know if any of them will win the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like, but it's only if, like, but if we're Madrid,
then it's like, okay, Vinicius, then it comes,
full circle.
You think Vinicius has a chance? Vinicius Ballon d'Or.
The Champions, it's all Champions League for me. It's
now it will be all Champions.
Yeah,
you have to win the Champions League, and but it depends who is in that team. Again, like I said, if it's Inter, I don't even think they're going to give it to Martinez. I don't think they would, even if he had pretty good. He would have to have an exceptional. Yeah, but he has to like go even higher level than he has already shown us.
That's the thing with Ballon d'Or. They factor heavily in terms of like the order. First of all, international competitions, especially World Cup, but even just international competitions like Copa America, Euro, they factor in the heaviest.
Nations League eventually.
No.
They probably will do that. I already know.
Don't. I will become livid before we get into. Okay, but for now, it's just they factor in the international competitions very heavily. Then second side is Champions League. They factor that quite heavily. Then league competitions, honestly, they don't factor in that heavily. Like, for example, if they did factor in league competitions more, then, for example, Dennis Bergkamp probably could have won a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
But because he never won Champions League, he did go to the semifinals of Netherlands, but he was mostly, like, insane in the Premier League. He never, won the Ballon d'Or. So they definitely prioritize the two biggest cup competitions.
No question about that.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. Like, again, Champions League, if you win that, and you're an exceptional player on that Champions League winning squad, Roger. Well, they don't factor obviously the Champions League performance, but you get if you're Euro, but if you have to be, but you know what I mean. Like it can't just be like, for example, Jorginho. The reason why I don't think he won it that particular year with the Ballon d'Or, Jorginho, even though he had all the competitions, all the cup competitions, Champions League, Euros, mainly because of the performance was great. It was very good, but it's not like.
So you turn on the TV.
Yeah, turn the TV on. You're turning on the TV for Vinicius, for example, or Bellingham, or maybe Rodri. I don't know.
No, you're not. No. You're not turning on the TV. Okay, he scores bangers, but that's
you're turning off the TV.
It's not like he scores a banger every single game. Like, whereas Vinny, he does like some insane skill move every single game. So that's what I mean by turn on the TV.
Yeah. But you get the point. It's like, you have to have that. Plus, you have to be a Champions League winner or just big cup winner. And so it's not just like, I get the cups, but I don't I play decent, so I get it. It's like,
in terms of future cup winners, do you think future Ballon d'Or? Do you think Cole Palmer has a chance of winning the Ballon d'Or in his career? I personally think he does.
Cole Palmer,
unless he gets really badly injured. But for now, if he continues the way he's playing for the next 15 years of his career or plus, depending on how big.
1 or 2, right?
Maybe not 2, but 1. I definitely see him
1. Yeah,
I definitely see him 1.
I'll take Cole Palmer, and then you mean
Lamine to win multiple. Lamine, I see winning a multiple.
Musiala.
Yeah, 1 or multiple for him. Florian Wirtz, perhaps. Your team.
The biggest thing for me, I'm being flexible, is do you think Vinicius is another go at winning the Ballon d'Or in his career?
I think he's got to keep the title. Yeah.
I would say he has to keep the setup, and then especially if he wins an international competition like with Brazil, like something crazy like that, like Copa America. Even if he won that,
wins a Champions League and Copa America in the same season, that'll be more.
Yeah, over. Yeah,
over. Like it almost doesn't even matter how. I mean, he will have an exceptional season if he's winning those 2 cups, but you get the point. It's like, especially for Vinicius though, because obviously the biggest complaint about Vinicius that 1 year was because he didn't do well internationally speaking.
Yeah. What about Juventus' young Kenan Yildiz?
Yildiz? Well, he watched him live. That's the thing. Like I think when you watch him live, it's like a different level, right? I don't know. Maybe it's hard though. He's Turkish. Like there's never been a Turkish Ballon d'Or winner, has there? I don't think so.
Oh, hasn't. So
it's gonna be hard. Like I think Ballon d'Or definitely favorites some. I'm sorry to say, it's true though. They do favor some.
They kind of do.
Yeah, for the most part.
France for sure.
That's France. Actually, I don't think so. Yildiz, I don't think the country will necessarily hold him back. Because if you think about it, Shevchenko for Ukraine won the Ballon d'Or. He played for Milan and he won the Champions League.
Yeah, he played for Milan.
They won the Champions League, but Shevchenko did. George Weah played for Liberia, but then he played for Milan.
But it's hard. There is definitely some sort of level of bias there. I don't know
because I just said Shevchenko and George Weah. But then they both played for AC Milan. I feel like AC Milan is very favored.
AC Milan is back then.
Man City to a certain extent is favored. There's no question about that. Right? And Barca too. Yeah.
And then big question here. When do you think your club will win the?
Yeah. This is a big one. I really was like, we got to answer this. I think.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Okay. Chelsea.
What year?
I could see Chelsea winning.
You just won someone recently.
Yeah, in 2021. But yeah.
But it's not the same squad at all. You guys have got everybody.
Except Reece James.
Yeah, except
but
Reece
still
James.
always injured.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. I think Chelsea could win maybe 2027, 2028 in like 3 years. I could go.
Yeah, you have Cole Palmer.
Yeah, and Jackson could be a top striker by then.
Yeah, that's
probably serious. Like Jackson could be a top striker by then.
That's probably true. Yeah,
if he continues the way he's playing.
Yeah.
For Juventus, I would say generally speaking, like 2050.
I don't know about
like the most best.
Yeah, like I don't know about like no.
Let's be honest. Okay. 20. I would probably say 2030, something like that. 2030 makes sense to me because I do
2030 exactly, or 2030s, like sometime in that. Or like
probably 30s. I would probably say 30s
because we are developing as a squad, and I feel like, and we're a very young Juventus squad. Like Yildiz is like what 19. Like he's literally our best players are our youngest players for the most part. That's true. So yeah, I would say 2030s somewhere there. That makes sense. That 100% makes sense for me. For Juventus to actually winning again, but.
You agree with
I'm always pessimistic. I agree with Chelsea because Chelsea. Well, your team's not. It is young, but it's not like ridiculously young to where it's a future project.
Yeah.
Like that's Juve. Juve is like far distance future project. I think, in my opinion. Like
Allegri, when we actually did go to the Champions League final 2 times in 3 years, that was a very mature Juventus squad. The only one that was like younger, you would definitely say, is Paulo Dybala. I think he was 23 or 21 or something like that. Yeah, 21 and 23. Maybe someone correct me on that, but it was like some sort of. I think it was like he was the youngest player, and then the rest of the players like Chiellini, Bonucci, Barzaghi, Buffon, they were all like older, experienced players. Right? So that's the thing.
Now we'll just have like one hot take thing. We both think that Cole Palmer is the best player in the Premier League, even when considering players like Bukayo Saka, who are the Mo Salah, who's on fire right now. Yeah,
Cole Palmer right now, though. Even considering for me, it's also even considering Salah.
Cole Palmer still. Yeah, to say.
That's what I mean. Like
Palmer, I would still put him over even Salah, who was having an amazing season. I just think Cole Palmer, for the actual team he's on, it's ridiculous. It's like ridiculous level he plays.
Against Tottenham, for example.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact stats because he has some insane stats that are not just related to penalties. Like he scored like a lot of goals that don't come from penalties. He has created a lot of chances that don't just come from penalties. Of course, he does have a very good penalty record. So then people tend to like say, they tend to highlight the penalty record, saying, he's just a penalty merchant. But no. If you actually see him play, he's a player you turn the TV on for. He's a player you turn on the TV for. Like nowadays, because Chelsea are flying high, I can't. Every weekend, I'm super excited to watch Chelsea play. Like, I actually want to turn on.
I remember one time, like one of the years, you were like, "I'm not watching them for at least."
But that was like last.
Last year. I'm not watching for the whole year.
Oh no, but now I kind of love it just because of Palmer. So I think we both agree on that.
Yeah.
And then just our last question.
The favorite UCL moment.
Yeah, this is one I kind of touched on it, but I will get more into it.
Yeah.
So
I'll go with
because I did mention a little bit of like what it would be, like what I would say that the moment that I actually started loving football. One another moments. I would say for me is definitely I would definitely say when we got to what do you call it? When not Ronaldo, but he did it against Juventus, that's for sure. But I would probably say, oh yes, okay, now I remember. I was just trying to remember what it was. Yes, because I'm going based purely off of recent times, what I've watched a lot. I would say one of my favorite moments in recent times is definitely that Man City versus Real Madrid semi-final, the comeback. The comeback, 2022, or it was 21 or 22. Yeah.
The
Benzema
from Benzema, Vinicius like doing that insane turn on Fernandinho. Yeah,
for me, that moment,
like that's a Champions League moment. Like there's no question. That is a now. There's no doubt about it. I think it's a classic Champions League moment.
76th minute, Mars scored a goal, and I think that's like sent them through. Like they had.
They sent them through.
And then it was like 1%. It was like, and then there was like a percentage possibility of winning. 1%. And then imagine, it said on screen. No, on the screen, legit on the screen. and the 99% Man City, and then the 1% is all they needed to actually come back. Like, because I want to go. The reason why I choose that is based off of what I watched live. Like watching that live is just ridiculous. When you watch something live, it's a whole new experience you get, a whole new dimension for it. And I would say even more fall in love with like a comeback comeback teams, I guess you could say, or like teams that always like come back at the comeback kings, in Real Madrid when they did that. Juventus is also known for that too. Like that's another reason why I love that moment, because Juventus, like I can see prime Juventus doing that moment, like and actually coming back at the last second. And so that would probably be my favorite UCL moment I've watched a lot. Because I could say one that I haven't watched live or whatever.
Yeah, what's your one that you
like? I'll probably say Zidane. Zidane's goal against Bayer Leverkusen. Half volley. I think that's probably the best Champions League goal ever scored. Maybe very close to that Ronaldo goal, Cristiano Ronaldo against Juventus. But we don't want to talk about that right now because Juventus he doesn't want to bring up memories.
Yeah, no. For me though, favorite UCL moment of all time. I kind of touched on it. All time, I would say. So live, it was when Chelsea won the Champions League in 2021. Oh yeah. Specifically from that game, specific moments was Rudiger's block on Kevin De Bruyne. That was insane. Kai Havertz's goal, of course, that fifth from Mason Mount. What a piece of an assist. Yeah. And the build-up play was great. Yeah. Then also, N'Golo Kante's insane tackle on Kevin De Bruyne. You'll know. Yeah. Everybody knows that. He got absolutely pocketed. Yeah. The first time, probably Kevin De Bruyne was ever pocketed. Yeah, no, it was ridiculous. Yeah. Because that was prime Kevin De Bruyne back then as well. And then favorite of all time, not counting live, is obviously 2012 Champions League final. Just Drogba, header, then scoring the final penalty. Yeah, I've kind of touched on it before, but yeah, just so those two, I think nothing can beat those two unless Cole Palmer just an insane. But for now, those two are my favorites.
Does like that? So for the 2021, right? Yeah, it's 2021. Does it give you more of like a higher level? Did it give you a more higher appreciation for defensive play in that? Because for me, that was like, oh my goodness! Like for me, I'm a Serie A fan, so I love this defense.
In fact, I mean, you were even talking about it. You even said like, I think Chelsea are going to, after seeing like 10 minutes of the second half, you're like, Chelsea are winning this. Yeah, because defensively, there was such a good defense block from Tuchel. Like, he just knew. Yeah, no, it gave me so much appreciation for the defensive side of the game. To be fair, I already loved the defensive side of the game before because of watching Mourinho at Chelsea. Yeah. But Mourinho has never won a Champions League at Chelsea. That's right. Seeing Chelsea in it actually in the Champions League final. That was against Man City, a high-level Man City. That was.
Yeah, no, that Man City was very, very, very good. Man City. That was wasn't that the year before? Was it? It was 2 years after that Man City won, or was it a year after?
For what? When Man City won against Inter. I think it was a year after. It was two. No, the Champions League final was 2 years before Man City won against Inter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it was. But you get the point. Is like that I'm trying to make is that Man City side was basically that. It was very similar. Man City said they actually won against Inter. That's the level of Man City.
Not as good, but still insanely good. Yeah. You would have to say. Yeah, but now they're absolutely in the go. Yeah, now they're in the go. But we'll talk about that more in our future episodes. Yeah. We'll talk after. But yeah, that pretty much covers all our topics of today's podcast, and we just want to say thank you for all of you who've been supporting us across all platforms. That includes Spotify, Instagram, and now hopefully YouTube, as this episode is one of many videos on our brand new YouTube channel. Yep. We will have the link in the description of the episode. Please subscribe. We really appreciate your support. And yeah, once again, love everyone's energy and interactions, and we can't wait for what's to come for the podcast in the future. 2025 will be a big year, and we are absolutely excited. We can't wait. Yeah, we can't wait. Big year coming for 2025. So we can't wait for that. Thank you for tuning. We're out.